Hi there, I'm Atharv, and I've been fortunate enough to receive an offer to study physics at New College, Oxford. It goes without saying that making an Oxford application is a competitive process, with the main pillars being the admissions exams and interviews. However, do not let that discourage you. A dedication to your subject of interest and determination to work through challenges is all that admissions tutors seek in applicants. The process starts by deciding your course. Of course, it is ideal if you already have a course in mind by June, but if not, then do not worry. For me, I was torn between engineering and physics, a conflict that resulted in me deciding on physics towards the end of August and having to frantically write a new personal statement. Looking at the course descriptions and simply just talking to a lot of people doing those courses at Oxbridge and other universities was my method of research to make a decision. But at the end of the day, I went with my gut, which was physics. Having meditated on my decision for 8 months, I now realize I made the right choice. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a real enthusiasm for your chosen subject. Reasons like, because it is easy to get into Oxbridge, will very likely not get you very far through the application process, and definitely will not benefit you while you study the course. Research was crucial when it came to deciding college. It does not help that Cambridge and Oxford each have about 30 colleges, and I had to pick one. Every year, both universities release admissions data with total application and offer counts for each course and college noted, alongside data split between categories like independent to state ratio. This gave me a sense of the size of the colleges. However, it is not justified to choose a college based on just their admissions rates. Admissions data varies year to year. A high acceptance rate for a certain college may lead to more applications the following year, so it is important to do your own research. Through college websites, I gained an idea of their outward appearance and facilities, then noted 4 colleges to visit on the open day. The college visits provided a sense of the general environment and atmosphere, what Gen Z calls a vibe, which is perhaps the most important decision point. I decided on U after a lengthy examination process due to its large size and range of physics research areas that the tutors cover. Now comes the actual application, which began with an admissions test. For me, this was the PAT, and I cannot overemphasize how vital of a role this exam plays in your entire application. And it's immediately obvious when you review the online annual report for your exam. Oxbridge uses these exams to reject the majority of applications pre-interview, although it does vary between courses and very slightly between colleges. Having done my research, I knew a strong score in the PAT would leverage me in the case of a poor interview. The syllabus expected for the PAT was beyond what we had covered in school by that point, so ensure you are familiar with the content required for your exam. The style of questions is also different to what you have seen, and for me were based on problem solving using mathematical and physics concepts I had learned at A-level. From summer to the date of the exam, I had managed to do every past paper twice, as well as some of the other similar exams from other universities or courses like the ENGA and NSAA papers. Practice will ensure you are accustomed with this style of questions and have created a suitable problem-solving strategy to tackle both familiar and unseen questions. The interview is your chance to prove to the tutors why you're a suitable candidate for that course. Of course, there are several standard questions, like, why do you want to study this subject? That I or anyone I know were not asked. However, they're worth having a think about. The bulk of my interviews comprised of problem-solving type questions, with only my second college interview asking me a couple questions on my personal statement. The questions that they asked were on the topic that I previously thought would definitely not come up, so it is worth knowing your personal statement inside and out. Through many mock interviews, and by badgering many staff members over weeks, I practiced the technique of thinking out loud, which is the vital skill one requires for an Oxbridge interview. The tutors are there to see how you think and to see how teachable you are, so narrating your entire thought process must become second nature. In many ways, the Oxbridge interviews are a mock version of the Oxford tutorials or Cambridge supervisions. So the interviews effectively test how suited you are to that style of teaching. I did notice during my interviews that the questions got slightly harder at each step. That is the way they're designed, but it's important to stay resilient with tough problems. This is when narrating your thoughts is crucial, so the tutor can pick up on any initial thoughts and guide you in the right direction. The interviewers from my first interview decided to have a mini conversation while I was narrating a problem, and although this was odd, don't let something like this throw you off. From writing my personal statement to mock interviews, I have had so much support from many sources. With my subject mentors, Mr. Whittaker and Dr. Pender, I was able to write a suitable personal statement, as well as resolve any queries on mock admissions exams. My old Eltamia mentors, Ariane and Alex, helped me along every step of the way, with frequent mock interviews adapted to the style of Oxford tutorials. I am not only extremely grateful to my mentors, but I also encourage you to find such knowledgeable mentors, take their advice, and learn from them. I am certain they will also agree to constant pestering in the case of mock interviews. Lastly, although my next statement may seem to originate from a cringy self-motivational guidebook, it is important to note the interview process is tough, and it is important to not give up. If you can embrace a challenge and commit yourself to your subject of choice, your Oxbridge journey will leave you truly pleased, regardless of whatever outcome. I wish you all the best with all your future endeavours.